Welcome all. Now our next topic. So we finished our nutrition. Okay. Now we are going to continue with the respiration. We are going to start respiration. Now in the NCRT book, in your book, it has been started with a experiment, right? Now in the experiment, we are taking two test tubes. In the first test tube and the second test tube both contains lime water, right? In the first test tube, with the help of pichkari, like how the pumping machine is there, no, like your cycle pump, okay, like that small pichkari. This pichkari is a Hindi word which is used for holy, giving the holy colors and all, right? So this is a rubber tube. Now here a person is exhaling, and he is with using a straw. He is producing the air inside the lime water, right? Now among them, if you see the time taken for converting this lime into milky white, lime is transparent, or somehow it's like transparent liquid which later on, after the person exhales the air inside that, the air which consists of carbon dioxide, when passes through the lime water, it turns milky white. That means a whitish color will come in the this lime water. But here the time taken for becoming milky white is too long, as the pichkari contains very little amount of carbon dioxide. So that means lime water turns milky white when carbon dioxide is exhaled or mixed, when reaction takes place. Okay, so that means the person who is respiring is taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide, that we know. Now, really transpiration means what? Now, if very easily want to explain, respiration is nothing but breathing. Now, respiration is the production of energy by utilizing the glucose or carbohydrate formed during your nutrition, right? So respiration, in somehow it is a release of energy. So how respiration takes place? It is taking place in different steps. Taking in oxygen into the body cells, first step. Second step, burning of food using that oxygen to release energy. So that is more important, because first step is normal breathing, that means taking in oxygen, right? Second step is usage of this oxygen to burn out the food to release energy when required. Third is eliminating waste product, that is carbon dioxide and a little amount of water plus little energy. Now remember, these are the steps of respiration. So respiration is very complex. It is a biochemical process which is converting the glucose to release energy, right? So this respiration is of, if you can more easily understand, we can divide it into breathing and cellular respiration. As I already told you, the first step is breathing, that means taking in oxygen. So it is a physical process. Physically it is going on, taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide, taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. So it is a gaseous exchange. Now real respiration is cellular respiration, which is going on inside your cells. So it is a complex process which happens by oxidation of food with the release of energy. Now energy is released in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It is stored in the mitochondria. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. So continuously during respiration, mitochondria is releasing the energy currency of the cell, that is ATP. Okay. Now, respiration is of two types, dear students, two types, aerobic, anaerobic. Aerobic means a respiration which takes place in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic means which does not need oxygen, especially fermentation. Its other name is fermentation. Okay, let's see how the reaction occurs. Now, dear students, normally in our body, in animal's body, normal respiration is going on. That is what aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration means the glucose, that is a stored food in our body, is changing into a 3-carbon compound called pyruvate or pyruvic acid. Now, remember, these all things are happening in the cytoplasm. Glucose, 6-carbon atom, is converted into pyruvic acid. Now, pyruvic acid is converted to carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So that means the byproduct is carbon dioxide, and this is happening in the mitochondria. Now in your level we don't have to go much deeper one, but when you go higher level, glucose is converted to pyruvic acid. It is known as glycolysis, and pyruvate to convert it into carbon dioxide, water, and energy, it is Krebs cycle. Now remember, these things need oxygen, the presence of oxygen. Now these two steps are equal or same for anaerobic respiration also. You can see glucose. Now glucose converted into pyruvate, same in the cytoplasm. Now what happens if there is no oxygen? Pyruvate is converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy. Now these things are ethanol, production of alcohol. Especially its best example is yeast. Yeast is doing the fermentation to release the carbon dioxide and makes the your batter, that dosha batter, idli batter, very fluffy. Okay, so anaerobic respiration is going on. Now remember, anaerobic and aerobic, glucose is converted into pyruvate, same. But coming to pyruvate, in the presence of or absence of glucose, the pathway changes. Okay, some bacteria also undergoes anaerobic respiration. I hope you understood. Now in the case of muscle cells, that means in our body, if you are doing highly exercises or some dances and all, suddenly you feel very what suffocation, your breathing rate will be high. At that time the glucose is normally converted into pyruvate. But when there is insufficient amount of oxygen, that means you are not able to get whatever oxygen you want, that amount of oxygen which is needed for your lungs, for your metabolic activities, if not getting, that time pyruvate is converted into lactic acid and energy. Lactic acid is a 3 carbon compound which gets accumulated in your muscles, and which will results in muscle cramp. Very important, dear students, for your examinations and all, muscle cramps. Okay, so the pathways are similar till pyruvate, but it leads to different categories, different ways according to the availability of oxygen. Correct? The difference between aerobic and anaerobic I am taking from directly from the book. It's very simple to understand, and please note it down in your notebooks. Okay, it's very important, and it needed for your higher studies also. Now same thing when we are comparing respiration, as you noted down, I'll explain. Respiration in terrestrial and aquatic animals are different, right? Now terrestrial means we are getting sufficient amount of oxygen from the environment, so we don't have to breathe very high and like that, right? But in the case of plant, this aquatic forms, the oxygen is mixed with water, right? It's mixed with water, so that means they have the breathing rate faster to get the oxygen separated from the water molecules and take it. So that is why their breathing rate will be high. Okay, now later the other points will continue in the next video.